You're tuned into Sunday Morning Praise right here with your favorite church girl, the one, the only Kayla J on WURD Radio. That's 900 AM, 96.1 FM. It is time for Mentally Church with none other than Leah Lloyd. Happy Sunday, Leah. How are you feeling?
Happy Sunday. I'm feeling good. I'm in a good mood. How you doing?
I'm doing wonderful. If my eyes would stop watering, I'd be doing magnificent.
hmm
But it is what it is. So if y'all see me wiping, I am not crying. The subject matter is not getting to me. My allergies is just flaring up, y'all.
Oh man, it did. They attack my throat. So if I start, I get it.
Got you. Well, I'm really excited about today's topic. Leah wants to bring forth a topic that I feel we don't talk about a lot in church, which we need to. So Leah, go ahead and introduce the topic matter for today.
We're gonna talk about friendships, y'all, and relationships. So platonic relationships. So we're not gonna get into that romantic stuff today. I don't want to be one of those people. We're gonna talk about friends, having a good group of friends, and how that supports good mental health and wellness. So, something that I ask in the therapy space when I'm working with people, one of the early questions I ask is like, what is your friend group like? Do you have a good group of friends? Some people say yes, some people say no. Some people are rebuilding friendships. Some people, as they get older, they are restructuring friendship groups, which can be challenging. And we work through all of that. So I want to talk a little bit about the benefits of having healthy friendships. And so, not only for just the social interaction and connection, but also the healing power of having good friendships. So the reason why I want to talk about this because everybody like just wants to do relationships, like everybody want to boo. But we don't talk enough about the benefits of having a friend. Like friends, if the friendship is managed well, they will be the most consistent people to you outside of family. And for many people, they have their chosen family, which are people that they met throughout their walk in life. And those are the people that they call family for whatever reasons. They're not close to their families of origin. And so friendships can be healing. They can be places that you create your own culture, your own norms. They help with navigating depression. These are people that you go and talk to, you process with. They hold space for you. They also support you in being your most authentic self. Good friendships hold you accountable. They challenge you. I don't believe that if everything is perfect in a relationship or a friendship, that is actually the best friendship for you. The reason why I say is because if these people are so close to you, they should be able to call you out lovingly, but also hold space for you to help you grow. They should be able to like gentle correction, challenge your thinking, but not be yes people. So if you are surrounded with people who just agree with you and are just yes people, I'm not saying they're not your friends, but they're not friends that are necessarily invested in your evolution as a person or even theirs, right? And so it should be mutually beneficial. Like each person should be able to show up within the relationship in that way. These are people that you can be like, "Am I crazy?" And they'll be like, "Yes," or "Or no, it's not you." So not just someone who's going to literally just go along with your story. Of course, sometimes you need your friend to just be like, "Yep, that was terrible. That was wrong. You were right." And then other friends will like, "It's a messed up situation, but can I offer you a different perspective? Or are you open to a different perspective?" These are relationships that we should be really intentional about nurturing, making sure that you have points of connection. Now, I have really good friends. Most of my friends are not local to where I am. And so these are friendships that I have sustained long distance for years. When I mean years, some 20 years, 10 years, less than that, but have managed to sustain thanks to technology. But it doesn't mean that I talk to them every single day. We might get one good phone call a month, every 2 months. We pick up where we left off. But these are people that I know are holding space for me when I need them. They're there. They have great wisdom and they're just good people. And so that also is helping me to be well. And so when we think about how we're managing our wellness, a big part of our wellness is the social. We have a social domain. And so it is important that we fill that up. So isolation is fine. And I want to be clear, people are like, well, I'm an introvert. Even introverts have friends, right? Typically their friends are extroverted. And so there is a balance in the energy, but we still need people. And I want to be very clear, I'm not talking about romantically, but you need these people. And when we think about in church, if you think about like your granny who went to church, your aunties, they got that good like church, good girlfriend at church that they may sit in the row with, they may cut up, because seniors cut up at church if y'all never noticed. But that's they good friend that make sure they let them know if they got to run in their knee high, give them slide you a little peppermint, or they talk about the goings on and happenings around the church. But these that they call, like I have my aunt, she called, they have a scheduled time every day that they talk on the phone. And those groups are also good as well. So you can have your friendships from different, like I said, different walks of life. So you have your good church people. For some people who have been members of the same church for most of their lives, those people end up being good friends separate from church, or these are just your church people, like you do the church stuff with them. You may have your going to brunch friends, you may have your I went to college friends. I found some of my best lifelong friends in college. And it's wonderful because, like I said today, these are lifelong friends. Like we have gone through so many life events, that the ups and downs of life, that it's like, okay, life has tested these friendships enough that they're going to sustain. Also, I want to talk about being okay with releasing some friendships. And I want to be very clear, because people talk about cut off, cut off, cut off, cut off. That's your business. But I want you to be very careful when we talk about cutting people off. If you are cutting people off all the time, it might be that you're the problem and not them. And so having a little like self-awareness and self-reflection to see, is it that you don't like that person, but is it because of them or how you relate to them, or because they are entering into the friendship with a different energy and awareness and intention that maybe you aren't? And so, like I said, if you're used to people saying yes to you, then those are not probably the best friendships for you. But also being okay with when we may have to sunset some friendships, we may have to put some distance in friendships, or giving each person time to grow. I've had friendships like that, good friends. We had to take some time apart and then come back together after we did our own independent growth. There were some things that we could not go through together. However, those life experiences helped us to come back together and be present with each other in this season of our lives. So it's okay if you have those kinds of friendships. And then there's some that you do just have to release. You just send them off because you realize that those are people that cannot go with you to your next season in life, or just are not, that it's draining you, or it is not beneficial for both people, because we can also be enablers of our friends too in an unhealthy way. But good friendship groups can help you navigate depression, navigate anxiety, navigate generalized anxiety, navigating trauma. And then these people can also hold a mirror to you and be like, hey friend, I see this. You may want to go talk to someone. Do you need support with identifying a therapist? Because I also want you to know that you should not be the therapist in your friend group, because that's heavy. But you can support your friends to support them in finding the support and help that they need, especially if it gets heavy for you, because you can't be a savior, you can't be the fix it all, you can't be the peacemaker all the time, because you want to show up in a particular way in your friendship. But having good friends, and for Black women, having good groups of sister friends, even if it's just one or two, right? Like I'm not talking about having 10 friends. If you got one good friend, that's great. For Black men, it is important to have spaces, to hold space with other men who are going to also challenge you. If you don't have depth within your friendships, because a lot of men are very good with the surface friendships, but if you got at least one or two people that you can really hold space with and talk through things with and process with, that's really good. And for people, it's just good to have that. It's really important. And if you're struggling to make friends, Many people do. They struggle to make friends as an adult. There's different ways you can go about doing it. You can join clubs, organizations. There's apps now that can help you find friends. So not a dating app per se, but some of them have like two spaces where you can find friends, or if you wanted to find dates. But there's more ways to find friends that may be not as organic as it once was, like walking up on somebody at a playground. But you go to festivals, go to, or just if you're a kind of person you just like to be in space with other people, then go places and read a book, or maybe that sparks a conversation, or find a book club. Go to the hair salon, right? You can always find a good conversation and chat. And also there's a special relationship with the hairstylist that a lot of people don't talk about, that is also very healing, but I feel like that's another conversation. But Kayla, what, chime in, like what kind of friendships do you have? Do you have a good friend? And I'm very careful around saying best friend though, but some people are like, this is the best friend. So where do
Well,
you with your
I
friend?
have a best friend. I am one that is careful, like you, with that moniker. And it was very funny. With my best friend, we'll tell the story all the time. We never said that that was my best friend. At the time, her boyfriend was just like, y'all are best friends, right? And we was like, whatever. We right. We didn't. We never
Mm-hmm.
really like took the title, and it wasn't until like some years later we was like, yeah, that's my best friend. Like that's my best.
Mm-hmm.
Like, but I really cherish my relationships, my especially my friendships, because as a kid I was bullied a lot. I was teased, I was picked
Mm-hmm.
on, and I wanted to be liked. So a lot of times, people that were doing the teasing and the picking on me were people that I quote unquote called a friend, right? And my
Yeah.
mother would always tell me they're not your friend, they're not your acquaintance, they're people that
Mm-hmm.
you know,
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
because of happenstance. We might go to church with them, or I might be in school with them. So it was just always a lot of people around me when I was searching for friends that just really didn't like me. So
Mm-hmm.
the friends that I have now, I like to call them my squad, my crew, 246.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, we all met in college. It took
Mm-hmm.
me until my junior year of college to make my lasting friendships. I
Mm-hmm.
still have friends from childhood. I'm not saying that they do not mean anything to me
Mm-hmm.
as well, but our friendship is just a little bit different from those that I've met in college. Love
Mm-hmm.
them all. But I can honestly say that my best friend came out of that group that I met in college. And I can say my confidants. You were talking about how you should have, someone that can hold you accountable. My
Mm-hmm.
accountability partner is in my crew that I met in college. He'll call me
Mm-hmm.
and be like, KJ, I haven't seen you do this, and this. Are you all right?
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like,
Mm-hmm.
you know what, bro, you right. I haven't done this, that, and the third. I've been a little MIA, so let me fix myself.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm really grateful for that group of friends that I have, because it's like filling a void that you didn't even know you had.
Yeah.
A lot of people, they think when they talk about friendships, they think that your friend is just an additive to you, or it's just
Mm-hmm.
somebody that just hype you up when you need a hype up.
Mm-hmm.
No, I feel like friendships are so much deeper, and I'm always reminded about the covenant relationship between Jonathan and David when I
Mm-hmm.
talk about a friend. You know,
Mm-hmm.
Jonathan, his father wanted to kill David, but because of their relationship, their friendship, he was like, "I'm gonna help David run, and I'm gonna die. I'm gonna die for David." That's a friend right there. Now, I
Mm-hmm.
love my girl. I don't know if I'll take a bullet. I might. Howsoever, we be close. We be close. All right.
Yeah.
I don't know
Mm-hmm.
if I'm gonna die for you, but I would darn near do anything.
Mm-hmm. I might throw a fist for you. I might.
Yeah, I'm
I
gonna
might.
couple. I'm a nuck if you buck. I am.
I'll be like, let's go. I'm more of
Right.
that friend
In
now. As we
Jesus'
get
name.
older, I'll be like, we're gonna leave because now you got more to lose. But I love that. Thank you for that example.
Yeah.
Man, I think I like what you shared about friendships, and I thank you for offering that too. What do you think about like friendships in church, in the church space, in the spiritual space?
Ooh, man, churchy friends are funny friends. I promise
Oh.
you there are. I say churchy friends are funny friends because I always feel that you may not know who is your friend in church.
Mm.
Because there will be a lot of things, they could be jealous of you, may want to
Mhm.
sabotage you, they could be maybe wanting to attach on to your spiritual gift. We have church famous
Mhm.
people, right? They may be trying to be church famous. So I personally feel that it's really hard, just for me to differentiate friends in church. Um, do
Mhm.
you have, like, I do have spiritual sisters, that I can call
Mhm.
on if I need help, I'm studying something, or there are church people that I've met in church that I consider my friend, my sister, my
Mhm.
brother,
Mhm.
that goes beyond the church walls. We met
Mhm.
in church and we
Mhm.
served in ministries together, but there is a relationship beyond those four walls, and I appreciate those as well. But
Mhm.
there are at times where it's just you my friend in church and you my convention buddy, because we got those. Let's not, saints,
Oh,
let's not act
okay.
like we don't got convention buddies, people that we only hang out with at conventions. We only call them when you at a convention. You
Okay.
have those friends, right?
Okay.
And I
Mhm.
don't think that's a bad thing.
I
I don't
don't
think it's a
either.
bad. I think you just have to be secure in yourself, and you have to be
Mhm.
cautious of who you allow in your circle
Yes,
at church, because like
absolutely.
I said, it's supposed to be the church, the place where you heal, the place where you find God,
Mhm.
the place where you find freedom. But a lot of times when we start getting those smaller circles, those cliquish circles, it becomes the place
Mhm.
where you get stabbed in the back, the place where you get hurt, the place
Ooh.
where you get broken. And me being an evangelist, I just have to always be sure that if I'm gonna have a
Mhm.
church circle, I need to make sure that these people are uplifting and building me up the same way
Mhm.
my friends outside the church are.
Yeah, I love that you see like being careful, being discerning, differentiating yourself. And it made me think like sometimes it is challenging to see in that space if someone has their most authentic presentation because everyone wants to be their best selves in that space. Even if you're broken, sometimes it's not the most broken version of yourself that you show up to in church. And not that we want to do bonding or trauma bonding, but it can be challenging to really sort out who is your friend. But we hope that you can find safety in the community of church. I think if we get into community, the community of the Black church is one of my favorite things. Like I wouldn't trade it for anything in the world, the culture and community of the Black church. But it's okay to say like my best friends or my good friends did not come from this space. One of my best friends is not Christian, and I say best friend like sister friends, but it is one of the most solid relationships and grounded in faith relationships that I've had. And we pray together, we talk about God together, but our religious differences do not keep us from showing up for each other. So that's I'm auntie to her children, she auntie to my baby, and you can't tell us any different. Like that is my sister. And so being able to also navigate that has been very interesting and I'm sure confusing for some people. But I've been able to show the love of Christ, which was something that was welcoming as someone who was harmed in religious spaces. And so we were able to connect. And y'all will find if you do hold space with people who are not Christians, you'll find that there's a lot more similarities than differences in the experience. Now, I'm not getting to the theology, but the experiences are still very similar when you start talking about how you experience your spiritual space or your faith space. But back to what we're talking about, how solid friendships are so beneficial. So I have a book to recommend. I've been reading Sisterhood Heals by Dr. Joy Harden Bradford. She's the creator of Therapy for Black Girls. I think if any Black woman, this is a good book to gift. It's a good book to read in community with your sister friends, your sisters. Share it. I think it'll give you even more context for how these groups actually function and can be very similar to like therapeutic spaces. However, nothing is a substitute for relationship with the licensed counselor and practitioner, but it can be very similar. She correlates it to like the group therapy model. Because when you think about it, you are kind of holding court with your friends sometimes. And it's like, okay, what you think? So it's a really good book. that I think that folks should read. So on that note, I'm gonna stop here. Hopefully you all got something, but feel free to send us emails and connect with us. We can talk about it more.
Yes, for sure. Connect with Leah. Get that book. It's going to have to be something I download, and I'm going to tell my good friend to download. And when we finish the book, we read it now. I think we're going to have to pick this one up because I always think it's good to reassess and just see where
Mm-hmm.
you are in life with the people closest to you.
Mm-hmm.
But Leah, let people know when you're not here on Sunday Morning Praise, how can they connect with you?
JourneyBeyondCounseling.com. JourneyBeyondCounseling.com. You go there, go to the contact me page, and that is the best place to reach me. One day I will get more active on my social media, but my website is the best place to find me.
Appreciate it. JourneyBeyondCounseling.com. That is Leah Lord, our licensed professional counselor. Leah, as always, I appreciate you coming and
Thank
help
you
us
for
get into
having
the
me.
church on this Sunday morning.
Thank you. You're welcome.
All
Bye.
right, folks. I'm Kayla J. You're listening to WURD, Progressive